In 2023, I was actually working here at Equi when I thought that my appendix ruptured and went to the hospital. It turned out I had stage 4 ovarian cancer. I was fortunate enough that I was already covered by the Oregon Health Plan and was able to go through 7 cycles of chemo, a full radical hysterectomy with debulking of tumors, 10 radiation sessions, countless numbers of scans and imaging and prescriptions, etc. And I haven't paid a single cent throughout all of it. As many of you know, there is a bill that's going to be coming up called the HR 1 Big Beautiful Bill Act. I'm sure some of you are already aware of it. If not, we can talk about that a little bit more. But the reason that I'm here today is to bring attention to and invite everyone to a demonstration that I'm organizing on the 4th of July at Pioneer Courthouse Square. It will be a die-in demonstration. If you're not familiar with that term, a die-in is a powerful form of protest where participants symbolically lay down to represent the devastating loss of life that systemic injustices create. And the idea is to be demonstrating the estimated 50,000 some odd Americans that would die if they lost their access to Medicaid annually. Trans communities are disproportionately affected in terms of poor health outcomes, living at or below the poverty line. There are roughly 276,000 trans people on Medicaid. The Senate has a self-imposed July 4th deadline to get its version of the bill to President Trump's desk. According to this bill, it will end federal funding for any gender transition or care, including surgical, hormonal care for adults, and puberty suppressant therapies for gender nonconforming youths. This bill conflates and codifies strict gender and sex binaries, erasing trans, gender nonconforming, and intersex people. Besides losing critical life-saving medical care, this legislation further targets trans people by requiring invasive processes for individuals to surrender their personal data metrics, including your biometric information, to the federal government for those deemed undesirable. RFK Jr. and Health and Human Services, people with no medical knowledge, history, or expertise, are those overseeing standards for access to HRT and other medical services, specifically for anyone in the LGBTQIA+ community. The Secretary of Health can terminate the American Care Act benefits without consulting the state that you get care through. The minimum staffing standards and cuts or elimination of providers specializing in trans healthcare. The bill will also penalize medical providers and punish distribution of puberty blockers and hormonal therapy drugs to those who need it. In addition to that, the bill proposes cutting up to 60% of funding for all mental health care. And the name of the demonstration, I have flyers here, is called You Will Kill Me, and that was inspired by a protest that happened in DC in May, where disability activists showed up. 25 of them were arrested, and I saw a really, really powerful, impactful image of someone in a wheelchair being arrested, being carried out, screaming, you will kill me. So youwillkill.me is the website. As far as the virtual aspect of this, because I know there's all sorts of reasons why one might not want to go do this in person. On the website, there is a template, or you can also just write it on a piece of paper with the hashtag YouWillKillMe and just write what it is that is at stake for you or for someone that you care about. So yeah, youwillkill.me, also on Instagram and Blue Sky and all that good stuff. Thanks for having me, and I'll walk around.